Hello, and welcome to the full proposal judges training for the Big Ideas contest. My name is Francis Gonzalez, and I'm the network manager for the contest, and I'll be your main point of contact throughout the judging process. Please feel free to reach out to me at any time. My email is francis.gonzalez@berkeley.edu. So I just want to say a special welcome to those of you who are judging with us for the first time, and welcome back to those of you who have judged in the past. So earlier this week, we received 70 incredible proposals that we can't wait to share with you later today. And as a reminder, these proposals are all for projects that are early stage, student initiated and student led, and focused on social impact. And the Big Ideas contest has 2 rounds of judging. In the first round, the main judging criteria are focused on innovation and creativity. And we do that in order to catalyze both new ideas and new social innovators. But as we move into the final round of the contest, we're asking you to assess these creative ideas on their potential to be both viable and sustainable social ventures. So over the course of the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to cover 3 main areas. I'll start off by providing an overview of the contest, and then we'll dig into the full proposal components and the judging criteria. And we'll wrap up with a run through of the judging platform. If you have questions during this presentation or afterwards, please email them to bigideas@berkeley.edu. With that, I'm going to share my screen and we can get started. All right, so I want to start by providing a quick overview of the Big Ideas contest, which is an early stage innovation contest that provides undergraduate and graduate students with funding and critical support for their promising social ventures. And the contest began in 2006 at UC Berkeley, and over the past decade has grown into one of the leading social innovation competitions in the country. And this year, the contest was open to more than 250,000 students from all 10 campuses in the UC system, as well as Makerere University in Uganda. And as we look forward to next year and beyond, through a new collaboration with the Rockefeller Foundation, we're excited to be expanding the contest to several more universities across the US and internationally. Please feel free to contact me if you're interested in learning more about these plans. Now let's take a quick look at some of the key stats from the 12th year of the contest. This year's contest launched in September 2017, and in mid-November, the contest received over 300 pre-proposal applications from student teams, representing around 1,000 students across 11 campuses. And following an extensive review process, a record 70 teams were selected as Big Ideas finalists. And with your help over the coming weeks, we will select up to 2/3 of these as winners who will go on to receive funding. And this year, the contest had 8 categories that teams could apply to. These include art and social change, connected communities, energy and resource alternatives, food systems, global health, hardware for good, and workforce education and development, which are all open to students from eligible campuses. And then we have the Scaling Up Big Ideas category, which is open to past winners who are looking for additional support to take their venture to the next level. And you've been assigned to judge 6 to 7 proposals in one of these categories based on your expertise. And so we're incredibly lucky to have such dedicated sponsors for the Big Ideas contest. Without their support, this contest would not be possible. So I want to give a huge thank you to the Rockefeller Foundation, Blum Center for Developing Economies, the Red Family Foundation, Autodesk Foundation, Citrus and the Banatow Institute, University of California Office of the President, USAID, and ASUC. So I just want to quickly take a step back. If you have any questions during this presentation, please email them to bigideas@berkeley.edu. All right, so before we go any further, I'd like to talk about the role of the judges in the Big Ideas Contest. You're joining an incredible pool of nearly 300 judges who come from both academia and industry. And what defines the judges is their wealth of experience, passion for social impact, and commitment towards supporting the next generation of change makers. Your participation is critical to help us evaluate the proposed innovations and to ensure that the teams receive high quality, constructive feedback so that they can continue to refine their project ideas. As a judge, your feedback will be kept anonymous and should be written as if you are speaking directly to the teams. And your feedback could include probing questions, tips based on your experience, other projects that the team should look at, and challenges that they might face. And I can't emphasize enough how important this feedback is. We try to keep the number of proposals you review relatively low so that you are able to provide each one with high quality, detailed feedback. And every year we hear from teams that this feedback was absolutely critical for their growth, and along with mentorship was one of the most valuable resources provided during the competition. I want to thank you again for your dedication as you make this competition possible year after year. And with that, I'd like to shift gears a bit and provide an overview of the timeline for the contest. This is an academic year-long contest that runs from September to May each year. Throughout the fall semester, students work to craft their 3-page pre-proposals with the support of Big Ideas info sessions, workshops, and advising. And this culminated in the submission of more than 300 pre-proposals on November 15th. So these proposals were reviewed by the pre-proposal judges, including many of you, and the finalists were selected by the end of the year. In January, we kicked off the full proposal phase of the contest. And during this stage, each finalist team was mentored by an industry expert who had specific skills and expertise that the team members identified as a gap or a challenge based on the judging feedback they received in the first round. And I know that many of you tuning in also served as Big Ideas mentors this year, so thank you again for your time and continued support. The Big Ideas team also held a number of workshops and advising sessions to support teams as they honed their ideas and crafted their 10-page full proposals. So the finalists submitted their proposals earlier this week on March 7th and are now anxiously waiting to find out how their year of hard work will pay off. And this brings us to the next important phase of the contest, the final judging period. The judging period kicks off today, Friday, March 9th, and this afternoon you will be sent your username and password to log into the judging platform. Over the next 3 weeks, you will review 6 or 7 proposals in your assigned category, which you will need to submit by Friday, March 30th. Please contact me as soon as possible if you think you will be unable to meet this deadline. And what I can't stress enough is the importance of the qualitative feedback, which is what makes this contest such a valuable learning experience for these aspiring innovators. After all of the judges' feedback has been received, the winners will be selected and notified of their awards in mid-April. Over the course of the next 2 months, we'll be hosting 3 exciting events that we hope you will join us at. These events are an opportunity to meet the teams, celebrate their accomplishments, and learn more about the most innovative projects in this year's contest. They're also a valuable opportunity to connect with your fellow judges and mentors and expand your own network in the social impact space. We often hear from judges that these opportunities to connect in person are their favorite part of the Big Ideas contest. So the first event is the Connected Communities poster session. And this will take place on Thursday, April 5th from 3 to 5 p.m. in Blum Hall on the UC Berkeley's campus. And the teams competing in the final round of the Connected Communities category will pitch their project ideas in a poster session before judges. These presentations will count towards their final round scores, and the first place winner will receive up to $10K for their big idea. If you're a judge in the Connected Communities category, We will be reaching out in the coming weeks to see if you are interested in and available to participate in this event. The second event is the Grand Prize Pitch Day, and this will take place on Wednesday, April 25th from 5 to 8 p.m. at UC Berkeley's B100 Blum Hall. The 6 of the top projects from this year's contest will be invited to pitch their ideas to a panel of judges to compete for prizes of up to $5,000. And this annual highlight of the Big Ideas Contest is an exciting and fast-paced event with opportunities for audience participation and networking. So the final event is the award celebration, and this will take place on Wednesday, May 2nd from 5 to 8 p.m. at UC Berkeley's B100 Blum Hall. This event brings together the entire Big Ideas community to mark the conclusion of this year's contest. This year's winners are invited to participate in a poster session where they will display their idea and share it with the Big Ideas Network. This is an incredible opportunity for judges, mentors, industry professionals, and teams to network, engage, and learn. And this is a great opportunity for you to get to know all the projects in this year's competition across all the different categories. So speaking of awards, this year's teams have the opportunity to win up to $10,000 for their big idea. There's up to $300,000 available in award funding this year, and the average award size is around $5,000 per team. Your careful review of these proposals will help us determine which big ideas are the most innovative, have the greatest potential for social impact, and ultimately have the most viable implementation plans that merit funding. So now that we've discussed an overview of the contest, let's move on to the specific elements of the full proposal. But before we dive in, I want to address a few issues up front. The first is length. There's a 10-page limit for the proposals, not including the appendices. Our team has screened all the proposals and determined that they meet this criteria. The second is format. So there's no specific formatting requirements for the proposals. The teams must cover the 7 main elements discussed below, but can structure the proposal as they see fit. The third is confidentiality. The full proposals should be kept confidential, but you can share the 150-word summaries that we provide. So the full proposals are comprised of 7 main elements. In the problem statement and existing solutions, we're looking for teams to make a compelling case that this is a pressing social issue by citing relevant research and statistics. Teams should also demonstrate that they have done adequate landscape research on alternative solutions to the problem they are seeking to address, including the strengths and limitations of these approaches, as well as the gaps that remain. In proposed innovation, the teams should describe how the project works, the impact that they hope to have in the first year of implementation, why their approach is better than existing solutions, and how they plan to address potential challenges. In measuring success, the teams should lay out their plans to measure the impact or success of their project throughout the first year of implementation. In implementation timeline, the timeline should describe the key next steps for implementing the project between June 2018 and June 2019. And some teams will provide details beyond that, but the emphasis for judging is really on that first year of implementation. So in team bios, the teams should demonstrate that they've identified the necessary skills to implement their project and either have those skills on board or provide details on how and when they will recruit for those skills. In budget, the team should detail the expected costs and revenue for the first year of implementation. If teams expect to have costs that exceed the $10,000 Big Ideas prize, they can list other forms of funding that they are seeking, but they are not required to have secured that funding at this time. So in past progress, and this is only for projects in the scaling up category, The teams will provide a brief description of their original project and discuss the progress made since the original award. So we've talked about the different components of the full proposal, and now we're going to shift over to how they are evaluated. In the pre-proposal round, the number one criteria was innovation, but in the final round, the number one criteria is viability, which is the extent to which the team will be able to meet the proposed goals. This is worth 40% of the score. The second criteria is the community or market familiarity. This is worth 15% and is the extent to which the team demonstrates an understanding of the market and existing solutions. The third criteria is the project's potential for impact, which is also worth 15%. This is the extent to which the problem is well defined and addressed by the proposed innovation. Next is a realistic budget worth 10%, and this is the extent to which the budget put forth by the team for their first year of implementation is both detailed and reasonable. Also worth 10% are the plans for measuring success. This is the extent to which the team demonstrates a viable plan for measuring whether they have achieved the project's goals. And finally is the overall quality and creativity of the proposal, worth 10%. This is the extent to which the proposal is innovative and worth funding. It's less about the polish and presentation of the proposal and more about the opportunity for judges to step back and think about the project as a whole and consider whether it truly has merit and potential. But please note that the judging platform will take care of this weighting for you. And I will also be sending around a document with 150-word summaries of each proposal in your category. This will help you get a sense of the wider pool of ideas and how the ones you've been assigned compare to the rest. So now we're going to quickly run through the online judging platform. For those of you who have judged before, this will be a review because we are using the same online platform. You can also find PDF instructions on how to use the platform in the judging handbook, which is located on the judges page of our website. So to log in, we will be emailing you your login information later today on March 9th, just after this training. The landing page will have the 6 or 7 proposals that have been assigned to you for review. On the left-hand side, you will see a reminder of the instructions, and clicking the green review button will open up a submission. When you start your review, you will be brought to an overview page with the name of the big idea and a 150-word summary. To view the proposal itself, click on the Full Proposal tab and then either Save File, Print, or View in the browser. After you've read the proposal, you can add your review by clicking the green Add Review button. This will take you to the judging scorecard. At the top of the judging scorecard, you'll be asked to accept the privacy policy, and the scorecard will have a mix of drop-down responses and comment boxes for each area of judging criteria, such as innovation and viability. If you're working on your review but don't have time to finish it, that's no problem. You can scroll to the bottom of the page and hit the Save Draft button. And when you've completed your review, hit Submit. Back on the landing page, your completed reviews will show up as done. If you decide you want to go back in and change something in your review before the March 30th deadline, you can do so by clicking on the Done button. And on the left sidebar, you will see a link that says, click here to see an overview of your scores and feedback. When you click on this link, it will pull up a window that shows all of the scores and feedback you've provided. And this is a useful tool to see the relative scores you gave each proposal. For example, you might find that you judged the first proposals you read easier or more harshly. So I just want to wrap up with a few notes and FAQs. Please don't forget that the deadline for completion of reviews is Friday, March 30th. And you can save your progress as you review, so you don't have to go through the whole process all in one sitting. And please allocate around 60 minutes to review, score, and comment on each proposal. If you would like to review all the proposals in your category, please let us know and we can set that up for you. If you think you may have a conflict of interest with any of the proposals you've been assigned, please let us know as soon as possible and we will reassign those. And if you'd like to reach out to students, please do so only through us to respect their confidentiality. And finally, I really hope I get a chance to meet you at one of our events in the spring. I'll be sending out reminders as those events grow closer, and I'll be your main point of contact throughout the judging process. So please let me know if there's anything I can do to help you. My email again is francis.gonzalez@berkeley.edu. And I just want to end by saying thank you again for contributing your time and expertise to the Big Ideas contest this year. We really couldn't do this without you. And if you have any questions, please send them either directly to me or to the bigideas@berkeley.edu email account. And that's my phone number if you prefer to get in touch with me that way. So thank you again. I'm going to see if I can come back. Yeah, so thank you so much for all of your time and for being part of this judging process. We really couldn't do this without you, and I look forward to hopefully meeting you in the spring. Email me with any questions, and I'm excited.